Force Showdown is a roguelike game that sees you play from a top-down perspective. The game has deck building that combines the action and ability to build decks of cards that suit your playstyle. Force Showdown is a single-player game that has roguelike elements but introduces some unique mechanics. The gameplay is all about trying out different strategies in order to find out what best suits you. You will die fairly often, but that's okay, as it's about learning from each time you die and improve on the next run. The main game has 3 sections that have various difficulties and lengths. The sections are built up of a number of areas that are used as battle arenas. The game is presented in a game show world that sees you battling in chaotic arenas with a commentator voicing what is happening. These arenas are where you will face waves of enemies that are varied and possess different attacks. In a typical area there are around 8 waves, and this means you have to keep an eye on your health along with managing your deck of cards. You will also face bosses after the waves of bad guys that bring very different attacks and abilities. It may seem like there is a lot going on in the action and card system, but in actual fact all you need to worry about is taking out the enemies whilst using mana and cards to aid you. You keep going until you die, and then you spend your earnings on better cards for your deck. So each time you start over, you're actually improving your character. There are 4 characters to choose from with unique attacks and abilities. The game has taken 2 characters from the original Force game and added 2 brand new ones. I love the option to choose various companions to fight alongside you. At the beginning of each round you can spend your mana to use randomly drawn cards that grant you abilities and boosts like buffs, healing or timed abilities. The developers have compared this card system to the popular Hearthstone game, combined with lots of action. The gameplay is great and does a good job of blending all these mechanics together to create a satisfying experience. I'm a huge fan of games like Gauntlet and Diablo 3, and this game clearly takes inspiration from those titles. Action is relentless as you face multiple enemies in small arenas. I found it vitally important to keep moving in order to survive. There are various objects and obstacles in the areas that can be a great way of hiding behind cover. This aspect of having the card system also adds a second layer of gameplay to the existing skill-based mechanics. I really enjoyed the option to choose the cards to use whilst keeping an eye on my mana. You only get one chance to get through each stage, and therefore it becomes vital that you carefully optimise your decks to the fullest. It also has a deck editor that lets you make different 30 card decks. You can make multiple decks for each character, and it will allow you for a chance to unlock certain decks for different situations you encounter during the game show. Force Showdown also has a Wheel of Fortune minigame. You use currency that you gain during the matches to purchase wheel spins, giving you the opportunity to win different items including new cards. The presentation looks great, with interesting and varied environments to battle in. I enjoyed the 4 playable characters, and I also thought that the enemies were varied enough to keep the combat entertaining. The bosses feel a little generic, but they do mix gameplay up, and after wiping out hordes of enemies it can be refreshing. The graphics are polished and look great on PC. The game has a vibrant and playful style that you can see from something like a Ratchet & Clank game. The animations of the characters are smooth, and the overall game runs very well. The sound design is very strong, and the commentator calling the action injects some humour to the game. Overall, Force Showdown at first glance may seem like it's a game that's just about mindless combat, which is on one level, but it also introduces a unique deck building aspect that is what makes the game stand out. The strategic card selection and management combined with satisfying action makes for an enjoyable and rewarding experience. I enjoyed seeing my characters slowly become more powerful as you gain better cards that will help you progress further. If you like top-down roguelike games, but you want something that adds a bit more of a unique twist, then I would highly recommend this game. For more gameplay reviews, stick with Mouse Droplet Gaming.